like a.
Mm-hmm.
I had you had to sign into the thing. So manual, yes, because you had to type in your thing every time you came in and sign out every time you left.
No, I had one where you had a card and you went and it printed out the little date and time and everything.
I'm not that old.
Yeah. Well, I'll just let you know that these past, I guess almost 2 years now, I've been waiting for you to clock in for LangTime Studio.
Uh-huh.
And thus far you haven't. I'm still waiting for you to clock in for the first episode. My timesheet is correct. But I mean, I guess I'll just keep waiting for you then.
As you should.
All right. I guess that's how it's going to be. Hello, Tim Eklund and Jonathan and Matthijs. Goedenavond.
Okay, so this poll is not complicated, by the way. It is just difficult.
Is that a sarcasm or is it a real?
To see everything at once, and it's I don't, because it's a tiny screen.
Can you add sums? Oh, it does have the sums at the bottom.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me show you a trick. Let me show you a trick. Okay, I'm gonna go to the top, and then we are going to do the thing where this stays at the top no matter when you scroll.
Oh, well, I can do that.
You can do that?
I can do that. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I can do that. Oddly enough, I know how to do that better with Google spreadsheets than with numbers. Numbers is usually supposed to be.
I do too.
Oh my gosh. So I had a dream. Oh, Tongi, it's now rainy days. Wow, hello Tongi.
Header rows. But see, here's the issue. I need left to right now because I'm trying to look at numbers.
No. Okay.
And so I can see the options, but now it's how do I compare this number to that number to that number?
Alphabetize them left to right.
I'm not sure you can.
But I had a dream while Jesse figures this out. I had a dream where I was trying to use Excel, and I kept trying to do things on Excel thinking that it was numbers. And in the dream, there would just keep saying in my head, it's but this isn't numbers, it's Microsoft. But I kept on not understanding it, even in the dream. And so it just went back and forth.
Right.
I can't even tell you how exciting this dream was as I was trying to interact with this Excel spreadsheet as if it were a numbers spreadsheet and constantly trying to tell myself, it's Microsoft, it's not Apple. That was part of the dream.
I am just dragging things.
The other part of the dream was that I was in a boss fight from this game I only played a couple of times because my friends had it. And it came out in the mid 2000s. And it was a game where you were different characters that had guns and different fighting styles, and you fought a bunch of zombies. It was essentially just a platformer, but a 3/4 view. It was just kind of a shoot 'em up style game, and in one of these, it was a horror style game. In one of these, a gigantic teddy bear grows to enormous proportions and comes to life. Sorry about that. And attacks you, and it's a boss. And evidently, I remembered in my head how difficult of a fight this was because 3 of us died and one of us was there trying to win, and it was going to take forever. And so it made this whole level with the teddy bear character where it's there were 4 stages to it, and the first stage was really hard, and then it got to the second stage, which was just as hard but shorter, which led to the third stage, which was even harder because it could heal itself. Yeah, and I sat with that in the dream for a long time. So it was that and the Excel spreadsheet. That was my dream last night. It was very exciting. There's a sandwich shop at Berkeley called Panini's, and it has a picture of Panini on it, the guy who wrote the grammar of Sanskrit. And it was kind of a linguistics in-joke.
How many of these were we taking? How many How many losers did we need from this poll?
4. So what we should do is we should actually
Okay,
we usually
have
start
4
at the
losers.
we usually start at the bottom, and then to go to the top, we should start from the top and go to the bottom.
You always want to wait and find out what wins.
In this case, though, like most of them are winners, so it'll be
Okay.
more exciting to find out who loses.
Okay, well, don't look. You're
Oh, okay.
supposed to be well, I mean, you've been watching the posts anyway.
Uh,
Okay.
All
right.
Look, I love Tongi's dream here. The other day I dreamt I was talking to Harry Potter and I asked him, so you guys don't go to college? Never got an answer.
And you never will.
Harry Potter's just looking at, yeah, bro, cool, man, good to see you. And then just beats it.
Coming up this week,
Yeah.
Tybadeer has a birthday. And Tybadeer is the one who made that amazing fan art of the possum speaking. And so that's exciting. So coming up this week. Okay.
And when is our 2-year anniversary?
The 27th.
Of
It's on the
course.
calendar.
Oh, what a day. That's a good day, the 27th.
February 27th. LangTime is turning 2.
All right.
It's a Langiversary. Okay. So we're going to start at the top. Tied for first place.
Oh, wait. Should we say what we're doing?
Oh, yeah. Dang it. I was really excited. Okay, you see these images? This is what we're looking at. So, no, we had drawn some possibilities for sources for orthographical shapes. And so what you see on the left of each column is like the source, right? Like what it represents. And then on the right is how it would be rendered in our orthography as we move forward. These are for the consonant shapes that come up top. We already did votes for what's going to come below. You'll see there's like a horizontal line that is shared by all of them. We've already voted about what's going to come below that horizontal line. Mm-hmm. The question was what's going to come on top. Some of these, by the way, because they already have words associated in the language, are going to already kind of more naturally be associated with one particular consonant sound.
Yeah.
However, moving forward, if some of these options win that we don't have words for, at that point there will be, another poll to decide, well, what consonant sound should this represent? And then we'll have to come up with a word to go with it. And so, yeah.
It is 2:07 p.m. and CJ has just showered. Congratulations. All right.
CJ, you may notice my hair is wet. I just showered before this.
All right.
Winning.
So, I also want to point out Jonathan's dream. He dreamed he was watching a Biblaridian video, but was too distracted because Biblaridian used pi as an IPA letter. And that is one of the shapes that never made it into IPA, didn't it?
And it should.
Yeah, like it should be something. That is so fascinating. Pi is nothing.
Pi is everything.
Exactly. Like it's such a key letter, like in math, and it just doesn't factor into linguistics at all. Like, is there any area of linguistics? Like there's a lambda calculus in semantics, but no pie charts.
There are, it means something very different.
There's 5 features, okay. Anyway.
Okay, so now that's what we are voting on. Now are we ready?
Yes, okay. And so this is what we're going to do. By the way, after we're done with this, we're going to go into the whole write-up about which ones probably should have letters associated with it. So we'll figure that out and then figure out what the next poll is. Get us back. I will get us back. I'm going to have to turn the fan on more.
Okay. We momentarily disappeared. You didn't miss anything. I promise.
Yeah.
There was a little blurb. We should be back.
Yeah, and we should be fine. I should point out that we are having unseasonably hot weather right now. So it's 90 outside or something. And so I've told the fan to just do what it's going to do. And hopefully we won't have any more little oopsies for the rest of the stream. Okay. So
getting back to this, we're really building the tension for this poll. All right, tied for first place. And so definitely part of our system. are owl and thorn. So options Q and X, owl and thorn.
So this is the owl. Looks like that's pretty cool. And this is the thorn, which a bunch of people thought was cool, and I still don't understand why. It's probably not going to overhang that much. It's probably going to be even on either side. But anyway, okay.
Side note.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. Oh, but here, let me open the document so I can put which ones are in. Can we give me a different colored pen from over there?
What color would you like?
I don't know, but one of the thin Sharpies. Oh, that'll work even better.
And it's orange.
Okay, so we're gonna have owl is number 1, and so is
thorn, which is over in X.
Thorn is number 1. Okay. All right. Next for number 3.
Okay, so also as a side note, just like for people who remember, we do have a word for owl already in the language, mawe. Because I want it my way. Okay, so those are the top 2. Puns aside. Tied for 3rd place is walnut, which is D.
Walnut.
Option D, not the sound D, by the way.
Yeah.
And then cherries, which is option G.
Yes.
Ooh, I really like that one. Of course, we have a word for cherries because that's the source of our dual. So swaza.
Yep. So it's probably going to be S. All right.
Okay. So that was tied for 3rd. In 5th place, tied for 5th, we've got mouse ears.
Okay, that's good. That's the A.
A, option A, right on top. Walnut shell, option E. So that half walnut shell.
Can't believe we have both of those.
And then O, pine cone. That cute little pine cone that you drew made it into the top.
So these are all 3 tied for number 5.
Yes, these are all 3 tied for 5th place.
Okay, and then that's the.
So that means now I'm on 8th place.
Okay.
8th place is stick. So that it's over on the left in F column, or the option F.
All right, let's stick there. The one that looks like a Y.
9th place, we have mouse tail, which is H.
That's cool.
That little shape.
All right.
I think we're on 10th.
Yeah.
Tied for 10th, we have a 3-way tie. Not, which was down at the bottom, that I, option I.
All right, right there. Okay.
And then we get grass, which is option N.
Yeah.
I like that one too. And we get rabbit, option U over there on the right.
All right, there's that rabbit, the upside down A. Okay.
Was that tied for 10th?
Yes.
All right. So 14th, tied for 14th.
Wait. What?
10th, 11th, 12th. 13th,
Yeah.
tied for 13th. Did I do that right?
Yeah.
7, and then 8. Okay.
13.
We have flower, which is option T.
Flower. I like how that came out, but I didn't like my image so much. Okay.
Option Y, spider web. That bottom one.
Pretty cool. Okay.
And this one actually kind of surprised me a little bit, but boot, option B.
Oh, that surprises me too.
I think it surprised me because I was really rooting for one that has not been listed yet.
Yeah.
Okay. That was tied for, we said 13. Those 13, 14, 15. 16th position, we have snail, which is option S.
Okay, 16. Snail up top here.
Okay.
1 dot in the system, so now we're going to have dots in the system. All right.
17th, we have a 3-way tie for 17th, and that is roots, which was option J.
Okay.
We have basket, which was option P.
Okay.
And spider, which was option W.
Yeah. And that's 17.
That was tied for 17th.
Okay, so. All right.
So now we've hit 20.
Okay.
Yes, option. So in 20th place is butterfly, option L.
So every single one of those shapes is in. Interesting. L, W, and T are all in. Okay.
And oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there was, but hey, that'll make it nice when you're creating the font. And then this is the last one, I believe, right? In 21st place.
So there were only 2 in 20th place?
There is only one in 20th.
There's only
place.
1 in 20th place. Okay, let me see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. We have 5 who haven't been picked. So this is the last one. Was there a tie?
No, the last one is possum, option V.
Whoa! Okay, so that's number 21?
Yes. All right, so then below that,
right.
what did not make it?
Here we go. First out.
First out, right below, by 1 vote, didn't make it in the top 21, which was snout, option C.
Okay, so that's this one, basically the double F. All right.
So that one did not make it. Below that, we have a tie for 23rd place. And it was bee and slug.
Yeah, I like B. Slug, I don't understand what was wrong with this. It was the simplest one. I thought it was a slam dunk. Nice and easy. Slug should have been in.
I really was rooting for slug.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. And then ladybug is in last place.
So cute, but I guess I just didn't like the
Perhaps not.
normalcy of the A. I'm actually surprised that opossum was the last in. It was one of the, what's the opposite of leading? It was one of the trailing ones for a long time. It must have been the last votes that pushed it in at the last minute. But there we have it. All right. Okay, so then, now we can go to our list here. I put a list up of all of the words and those that have sound correspondences and those that don't. So
I will say we are kind of happy B didn't make it because that started with a vowel, and we realized that after.
That's right.
And we were like, oh no.
So that does make things a little bit simpler. That means, okay, so B is out. Wait, no, B isn't out.
B is out.
B is out. B is out. Dang. Okay, B is out. Yeah. Okay.
I know, we had ideas.
Yeah, we did. Okay, B is out. That does simplify things. Ladybug is out. Snout.
Yeah, snout and slug are both out.
Okay, so then, yeah, that was one that had possibilities. And then slug is out. Okay, so.
And I think of those, I know snail was problematic because snail begins with a vowel, and so we were like, well, shoot. But we did have ideas for how to get around that. Otherwise, I think, wasn't it cherry, knot, and possum were the 3 that we already had like really good words for?
Yeah, well, we're gonna take a look at that right now. So cherry, and we're looking at protoforms here. Sorsa. So cherry, we're gonna say is definitely S. Next, knot, its protoform is Karen. And so we're going to say that is definitely K.
Oh, and thank you, Rainy Days. We were rather happy with our final images as well.
Yeah. Okay. Owl is Mawe, so definitely M. We'll do it Mawe.
Indeed. Oh, and then possum.
Okay, and then possum. Oh yeah, a possum was begins with an adjective F, so that is definitely going to be adjective F. Okay, so let's see what else we have. So yeah,
I think that was it.
Yeah, almost. So we have snail. Our word for snail is uri. And so that, again, begins with a vowel. So we could, there are two possibilities. One, we come up with another word that means like the shell of a snail or the shell of an animal, as opposed to the shell of a nut. And then that word, in turn, becomes the one associated with image S up there. And so basically, in the next poll where we assign letters to these images, we'll make a word that means like shell of an animal or snail shell or something like that, and it will start with that letter. Or we say that snail becomes our empty character, and so we're going to use that when a word starts with a vowel, and this letter, did I have it bigger? This letter that we've been drawing and that we were fond of, the K-shaped letter, that will be a part of the next poll. Because we had, where's that image? Because remember, we came up with an idea for that.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
There we go. So we have a mouse in an empty field with a walking stick. And so we thought, well, that'll be a good one. And the idea was the meaning is like, field or empty field. And so we just use that to say that there's no consonant sound at the beginning. So we can do that, or we can just say the word for field starts with whatever letter that is. And I think this would be good for a poll right now.
Okay.
Basically, what you are going to be deciding is which one do you think the empty character should be? Should it be snail? This is one, and it's kind of like, you can see there's a justification for that. It's the only character with a dot. So there is that. Or do you want this original glyph that we were working with, this K-shaped one? Which one should be the empty character? And which one should be a part of the patron poll? And again, as a reminder, if we use K as the empty character, that means the snail one, it's going to be a word for like snail shell as opposed to snail. If we go the other way, we don't need to bother with that. And really, I'm 50-50 on this.
I'm going to ask the community. I have a preference, but
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's a snail consonant, a snonsonant.
All right. Ooh, I do like that. As a side note,
Mm-hmm.
I
We love your
mentioned.
side notes.
I do love my side notes too. I have spent some quality time this week on Lexergy and learning all the ins and outs as I created sound changes for our podcast language sketch, which we will be talking results for our next podcast episode for March 1st, and I'm very excited. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun figuring out all the ins and outs of, and not all of them. I'm still, Graham has some nice little hidden things in there, but I was really quite excited because really Graham has been doing all the work for us to get our sound changes into Lexergy. And so I got a wee bit lazy just counting on that. And so now I've been backtracking and really working to make sure I can get my own languages in there. And I'm very excited.
By the way, can I see what the poll asked? Okay, which one's going to be the empty character? Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so that was exciting. Also, by way of announcement, next week, a week from today, which is February 17th, we are going to be coming at you 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours earlier. Time changes are messing with my head.
Yes, I think it's 2 hours. 2 hours earlier.
It's a special time next week.
Yeah.
because we're going to be doing a live stream at a convention in Utah. This was organized, really our involvement was organized by Logan, and so if Logan's here, the man for that. So we are going to be like at a convention actually live streaming, and so because of that we had to do whatever time they could get us the room and the equipment, and so it will be a different time, but we will be live. It will be our normal YouTube channel. Somebody had asked last time if it was going to be like aired in a special place. It's going to be our normal YouTube channel here, just a different time, and so then we'll be back to normal the week after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here...
We're not getting a lot of votes.
Yeah, no, we only have like half, but...
So people can still throw it off. We'll leave it open for 30 seconds.
Okay, and David's going to time that out.
Yeah. Here I go. Timing that out. Wait, no, I want to just look at the clock. Yeah, here it comes.
Oh my gosh.
It's got a second hand on it.
So Miles, yeah, I can totally see that, because there have been times I've been going back to like just doing it all in my head, all the sound changes, and I'm like, oh man, I just want to type it in and see what the output is in Lexergy.
Yeah. Coming up on 5 seconds.
Oh, you know what? I think there was a hitch because our viewer count.
Okay.
I think our version of YouTube, every once in a while it hiccups. And by our version, I mean like, okay, I'm going to end the poll because that's really it. Our interface sometimes shows a really random number of viewers. And that happened like to the point where it showed many more viewers. And so we're like, hey, only like half the people have voted. Okay, so if you hit the little blue arrow, we can catch back up.
Oh, right, yeah. There we go. All right, then. So then that settles that. Whoa.
I also approve of your username, Violet Beauregard. Nice. That's awesome. And hi, Beatrice.
No,
Glad you're here. So, okay.
It's Violet Beauregard.
Oh my gosh. There is another R. Love it. Love it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have an empty character now. It's the snail.
Yep. All right. Excellent. I like that. Empty like a snail's shell. Okay. All right. So then that is settled. So I think everything regarding the orthography, and then next week's poll, we're going to match letter sounds up to these characters. That's all settled. And so now we have to get right into a very thorny issue. And of course, I didn't
You didn't even open our document?
Didn't even open the document.
What were you even doing?
I was just messing around, man.
Man, I want everyone to know I was ready.
Yeah.
I may have had wet hair, but I was ready. Ooh, I also have like a weird little bump going on this side.
I wouldn't say weird.
I don't know. That's my curls sometimes curl the wrong way, and all of a sudden there'll be like this one group of hair in particular is the offender on this side.
I find
it sticks straight out.
I find it charming.
Well, I'm glad you do.
Yeah. Very charming. Okay. And yeah, it's pretty much at the proto stage. I can't remember where in the document we need to be for this. The adjectives section.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me open up my thing.
I don't think you've unblinked the screen yet.
No,
Oh,
I did.
No, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
It was just, wow. YouTube is really slow.
And then let's push this over this way. Okay, so then let's jump to the... This is hard because we need to be in the adjective section and we need to be in this section as well. So we noticed Jesse was trying to add the adjectives to our dictionary because our dictionary is actually getting quite full. If you look at this.
So yeah, so for our patrons who get this document, you're going to see big changes because all the nouns are now gone from that list up top, and they are entered officially in the dictionary with forms that we needed. And so yeah, like all the nouns are in there, and then I had asked David what we needed to do for adjectives, and it sounded super easy. And so I was like, oh cool, I'll go ahead and do the adjectives as well because they're based on noun roots. And so then those can be done too. And then...
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
By the way, I like this because now we have dot. You know, remember, didn't write a dot, and now the one dot is in the empty character. It's really nice. Okay, so there is an inconsistency.
And its word is nya.
There's an inconsistency with our adjectives. So we came up with these classes, right? And these classes do things. For example, this comes from the word for possum. The word for possum in the protoform is fanu, right? The adjective F-A-N-U. And the idea was that that N would be kind of merging with the next consonant when there would be some change that it might affect. So for example, nasals, when they precede fricatives in this language, they essentially turn them into, what do you call that? Affricates, right? Mm-hmm. And so ja becomes ja, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just drop out. But it's kind of like a merger thing. So the idea was that it was anu, right? Anu. So at the point where the tone was assigned, the n is still going to be an onset, which is why this is still high tone and not low tone. And then the n just does its magic there and turns it into ja. Now the question is, okay, then what happened to the n here? So it's like, and it's one of two things. If the n basically merged with the next consonant, as it did here, then it probably should still be here when it doesn't merge, making that a low tone. Or if it doesn't do that, then if you go down to
Terrifying mouse.
this one, here we have a W that stays in place when the ma occurs before a vowel. And so obviously this will be high tone. Here the W is merging with the previous vowel, and it's dragging the tone down because we said any syllable that ends in a glide will have low tone. So either both of these should be high tone, because we say basically when the consonant doesn't move to the next thing, it actually affects it. Or, so either both of those should be high tone, right? Or,
you went too far.
Or this one should be low tone because it didn't merge with the C, and so it acted as a coda, and so it does what codas do. And furthermore, this would cause us to lose a class, right? Depending on how we do this. Yeah, there would be no glide class at all. Because if we're saying that the consonant disappears, right, there wouldn't be a tone change. And so it would just be predictable. Shoot, I don't know. Like, basically, if the coda consonant doesn't merge with the previous one, then this shouldn't be O. It should actually just be ma, right? Mm-hmm. And so then there would be no glide class. Or there should be a glide class, that's mo, and it's low tone, and this one should be low tone too. And furthermore, if there happened to be a different vowel here, say it was an I, it would be I here, high tone, E here, low tone.
Because of the nasal.
Yeah. So that was, I'm sure, very confusing, but it has to do with two separate sets of sound changes. One is just simple morphological lenition, which can happen anywhere. And the other is our set sound changes. So that's why we need to go back all the way down here. These were our tonogenesis sound changes. So I'm going to show you what we are dealing with. So either, let's do mawe plus, I don't know, what is it? It's a word for mouse.
Chuki. Oh, EW.
All right. So this is our set. So we had, we said that basically, so the morphological part of this is that we had this, and then we said this, the E kind of got elided, and then we had all those sound changes, which would be, so mo, and then, yeah. So that's morphological stuff happens first, okay? Or sound changes happen first.
And hello, Junio.
Then what we have here is becomes ma, we, ki.
Shouldn't it be high tone on the way? It's only if the W follows it. It's a consonant otherwise.
Is that what it is in the modern mawe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mawe.
Sorry. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's your bad.
And then what happens here is that the consonant, I'm sorry, the vowel kind of gets elided, and I hate to use another apostrophe here, but it just kind of gets elided. And then crucially, at this point, this is a different type of consonant, coda. And so it doesn't actually do the same stuff as the other codas do, because those sound changes are done. The tonogenesis sound changes are done. And so then this just becomes like that.
Okay, so if the sound changes happen first, though, and our root started with a back vowel that would have changed the W to a V, would that no longer happen because it had already been done?
What do you mean?
And we would have had an epenthetic L. Because it would be like ma, we, luli.
Yeah.
What would happen there?
The vowels would just drop out. So we wouldn't need it.
Right, but we wouldn't get the V. Our current example has a V, so this doesn't just affect this form. This affects all of the forms.
Let me see.
Really need it better. So like mavuli would what? Just be maluli?
Oh dear.
Because that V change would have already happened.
Okay. I think
we need the morphological stuff to happen first for this to make sense.
Yeah.
In which case we need it to be fa
Yeah.
low tone, fa chi, and then high tone for fa jedu, because that one, the N is actually...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think just talking through it this way, you talked me into it.
Okay.
All right.
So
Gonna
leave everything
leave that there
else.
for right now.
We just
Let's go to
need...
the adjectives. Here we go.
And then we should double check
Yeah, everything.
everything in front of that.
So this should now be that.
Low tone.
And then,
Now the top one, the top class A, that one is safe because its original would have been a TS affricate, which behaves like the stops, which
Yeah.
leaves a high tone trace. So whether or not that coda is present, C is high tone.
okay. This means that we're also theoretically going to have a palatalized class, because if it ends in kya, that affects a previous vowel when it's a coda. but that only matters if we happen to have adjectives that have a cat in it.
I don't think we do yet.
Yeah. Now, what do we want to say with this? What do we want to say the base form is?
So this also was tricky in the trying to decide how to do a dictionary entry.
Yeah.
I almost would want to leave it no tone and square bracket in to be like, it's either a coda in, thus making it low tone, or it's an onset that affects the next syllable in that makes it high tone with a change in the consonant.
Maybe we should make it maximally explicit.
So, I mean, the same goes for like the C up above. Like, should it
Okay.
be seats as the form of the dictionary?
Yeah, you know what we should do? Let's get a noun that begins with a vowel. Do we have any?
Yeah.
Eta?
Yeah, we have eta with the ejective T.
Let's do that. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Sorry. And it's eta. Or is it with a low tone?
It's high tone, low tone.
Okay. Okay, and then what?
TH. Because it comes from seat C, and so seethy.
Small seed. Okay. And then for this, because now we actually have another question to ask, now that I'm thinking about it.
It's a very fastidious, serious seed.
Mhm.
And then we want the high tone marker on that font.
Yeah, because now I'm second guessing whether this should be high tone.
Because is it really disappearing or
Yeah,
just
is it really?
affecting? I honestly, by logic, I thought it would be low tone
Yeah, I think you're right.
because it's not really becoming an onset per se.
Yeah.
Whereas in Faneta, it's obviously an
Yeah.
onset.
Yeah, the only thing, oh boy, the only thing that's a difference is like this doesn't happen with regular words.
Right.
But we could just say that's a function of adjectives.
Which is why it's a special class.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's slow seed. This is snail.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
Yeah.
uri, so L, uleta, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next one, we have the seed examples showing like what happens in front of a vowel.
I want to just, don't worry, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole. I'm just curious. Was it etar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Can you explain this?
Yeah, because the IE is being treated as ye, UR is treated as the opening syllable, and UR becomes wa, low tone. And so it
Okay.
becomes, wayeta.
Okay. Never mind. Never mind. We're just going to ignore that. Okay.
There's so...
Ileta. That's good.
This is really difficult because now it's like, if sound changes happened after all this, some of these, anyway,
Okay.
we're just going to move forward with life. And so these are basically all correct.
Yeah.
And the ngo eta becomes, because it's got the ya at the end of the ngo root, that becomes je in front of the a, versus dirty snail, where notice the ya just shows up.
So let's go ahead and write this.
And then it would be y. And then these, I think we did all the examples we needed because we had low tone, we had high tone, we had low tone, high tone, high tone, high tone. Following it, we've got consonants, we've got vowels. The T shows up because it's narta as the root form.
Yeah, it sure does. But if I'm just looking at this and saying,
that should be low tone because it's nar.
Yeah. And maybe it kind of destroys these whole two classes.
So in other words, don't have any tone assimilating classes. Instead, really look at those protoforms and say that the tone is, because the reason this matches, by the way, what we had done with the suffixes, with swa and k as suffixes.
I'm fine with
that.
that.
One was a low-high, one was a high-low, and one assimilated, one dissimilated. And I think that's why we did these in the first place, was to follow that pattern. And so this one, it just takes whatever tone the following syllable has.
Yeah, I'm fine with the suffixes because what's happening with the suffixes is for example, sorsa is becoming swa. So we're actually losing the tone bearing unit and they're merging. This one, it's the morphological stuff happens first. So tone isn't assigned yet.
And so it won't be.
Yeah, so you're not losing a tone-bearing unit or a tone.
In which case, these are then predictable because it's going to be always low tone, and then that T is only going to show up if there's a vowel.
Yeah.
So, not totally, not tui.
And so it doesn't belong, so basically this isn't a class.
And same with tone dissimilating class then.
What's the protoform for this?
That one comes from rock, which I believe is kana, but let me double check. Kanar is the...
Yeah, in fact, this one is a fortifying class.
Because of the N.
Yeah, and so this is wrong.
Because that would be kavi.
Okay, so put kana in class B.
Should be class B, which is fortifying class.
Oh my goodness, dilly white bean stew? That sounds amazing. Those are my favorite beans and one of my favorite herbs.
And then nata is going to be what, no class?
Yeah, that's the problem. Now we have some of these that just don't end up in a class.
Wait.
Doesn't voice, it doesn't fortify, it doesn't devoice.
Okay, the glide class. Oh, wait.
Or does it devoice?
Say that stops devoice the following fricative?
Yeah, because this one devoices it. Devoice a following voice fricative. Yeah. Yeah, let's say it's a part of the devoicing class.
Okay.
So what if we had one? Well, let's see if this covers everything.
Well, one that we hadn't done yet was Kinsey. And so looking at what would happen there. For long.
Yeah, that one's just S.
So it'd be K and then...
So that is a nothing class.
Although in S becomes DH. It's KD.
Yeah, but oddly enough, if it's an S, that would devoice the next thing. But it's not an S. It voices, right? So the question is, does it voice first?
Boy, I tell you what. Sometimes you get in the middle of conlanging, and you go, wait a second.
Yeah, the thing is, and then there has to be a palatal class. Okay. So there has to be a palatal class, then there could just be a normal class. But let's see. Is this it?
Ejective K.
What?
And then it's KD, low tone, high tone.
No. Trying to think one where this would be relevant. How about Papu? It's not a real word, but it could be. So this will become Kensfapu. And then what happens first? Coda loss? I mean,
Coda loss is kind of...
Voicing happens first. Voicing is one of the first thing that happens. So actually...
It begins.
Yeah. And then ultimately that'll become Kins, Fapu. It doesn't really matter. But I think it's going to have to be, yeah.
Fortifying?
Yeah, Kins, Fapu. And then Kids, Bapu. Kid Bapu, but like that's just going to disappear anyway because
just be Kid Bapu.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that correct for E? En becomes E low tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would happen if that were an adjective F? Like fanu.
Nothing.
Okay, so the fortifying class cannot affect the adjectives
Yeah.
then. Okay, so that would still be just K fanu
Yeah.
if that were a word for possum.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, so this actually simplifies some things without the tone assimilating and dissimilating classes. Right now, for the palatal class, you said that would need something special?
Yeah, unless we're going to make a pact and say there will never be an adjective that has a palatal in it.
Well,
or we can just create one.
I mean, technically, dirty does have a palatal.
What? What do you mean?
I don't know where everything just went. Right there, dirty seed. It's yeah at the end.
Oh yeah, well it's just because it's a glide that it got called a glide class. But yeah, I guess it's nice to have a glide class though, because here's the thing. Yeah, this will do the exact same thing as a cha or a nya, but it's still nice to have a glide class because otherwise we'll just say this is a W class. I don't know, but let's go ahead and do it. Let's find another adjectival idea that we can do.
We actually at one point came up with a list of things that we were like, oh, this could be. But
I like the idea of doing like a Wordle and Dothraki or something. But if somebody's got to program it, right? I can't do that. I can give them a word list. Same thing for High Valyrian. I think Dothraki would be better. I think there are more 5-letter words.
we have long, we don't have short. We have small, but we don't have big. We have slow, but we don't have fast.
Well, let's create a word for big, and it's gonna be like, I don't know, Bocce.
Was that your suggestion?
I don't know. Like, thought it was cute.
How about adjective P-A-C-I?
Bocce. Okay. Okay, this class. This class features a vowel change when occurring before consonant initial nouns.
What? Graham made a computer program to play Wordle. Like the computer program plays.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Hey, Graham, and this is serious, if you really want to make a splash, we could do like a Dothraki Wordle. Like, if you know how to program that, then that will definitely get a lot of attention to your site. I'll give you a big word list. Okay. Last features a vowel change when occurring before consonant initial.
What is pachi going to mean as a noun?
Big?
As a noun.
Oh, I don't know. Mountain?
You want mountain or hill? Mountain? We'll do mountain.
That's bad. Actually, let's do that. 'Cause that's what's going to be the and that would be the same. So let's delete that.
And that would be pa, low tone.
What were the three that we did? Okay, one where it doesn't happen, one where it happens, and well, this one it's only two.
Okay, I see. Yes. I was not looking at that sound change, etc., etc.
And this one would be, there we go.
Would this be high tone marker over here just to make it the
Yeah.
same? Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I think, wait, and then class F is normal class,
Yeah.
which, so you want to change the,
Yeah, this class doesn't feature any surprising vowel or tone changes at all.
consonant, vowel, consonant, or tone, because like the surprising consonant changes up above are why we need the
Right.
fortifying class.
Or tone changes at all. They simply have a disappearing consonant that appears before vowel initial nominal roots. Okay.
So now we need to change na to li to low tone na, because it's from narta.
And that one.
That is going to be, they're all going to be low tone, yeah.
Yeah.
And do we want to say it's N-A-R-T?
Well, that was the other question. Do we want to say that this is actually a devoicing one? In which case we need a new example.
Oh, goodness.
Because it has
Okay,
the
so
T.
it comes from N-A-R-T. We have up above the TS, which is an affricate, which patterns the same way as all the voiceless stops, devoicing a following fricative.
Yeah, I think that we wanted to say that, well, okay, on the left side it's a stop, on the right side it's a fricative. Which one did we want to say did the devoicing?
I think we should say the fricative did.
Yeah.
Because it's the fortifying class, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier if we just say it's NART.
Yeah. So let's say this classification ends in a fricative, which.
Yeah.
And so then this is going to be TH.
Yes.
All right, now we have.
And then in the fortifying class, we should say it ends in a nasal.
Ending in a non-palatal nasal.
And then we need to finish that sentence. Fortify.
Sorry.
There we go.
Because it's the class that does it.
Yes. Ooh, that happens on all of them. This class of prefixes voices a following fricative. Okay.
These are the ones that ends in R.
So do we want to specify that it ends in R?
An L in the modern.
And then you have voices.
Jeez, I made that mistake all the way down.
Okay. Okay, and that one ends in a glide, which we know.
Okay.
That one, palatal, so obviously it ends in a palatal, okay. And then normal.
Yeah, and so now then we're going to add a little note, which in certain instances, a single adjective may appear in more than one class. For example, an adjective which ends in will be a part of class B, fortifying class, and class E, the palatal class. And I think we should go ahead and create an adjective like that, just so that we can have it.
So specifically in class B, your description says a non-palatal nasal.
Oh, yeah.
Which means that that would exclude the...
Yeah, you're right. That would make the nasal only. No, it's got to be both.
So just in a nasal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's do, okay, here's an example of one such adjective. All right, okay, so we created big. What's something that could end in an ya?
Soft.
Soft, okay, so what's the protoform going to be?
Something that ends in like ang.
It's going to be CVCV with an enya in the middle. Fini?
Fini?
Fini. T-S-I. Enya I.
And that becomes thingy. Okay.
I'm pretty sure, right? Thingy?
High tone, high tone.
Yeah. I mean, I'll check it out.
What is Pachi as the noun form is going to be high tone E, C-H-I. Is that going to be the modern form? Pachi becomes Pechi. No, Pechi.
No, I think it just becomes Pachi. Why would it become Pechi?
I don't know.
Here, let's.
Because I was remembering that the CH affected a vowel, but it only does it if it's a coda.
Yeah.
So, okay, got it. And so what will thingy mean as a noun that is soft?
Either feather or down.
Let's do feather.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. We need to change it.
Why?
Because it doesn't actually show the effect of palatalization. It's got to be a non... It basically needs to be any vowel but E.
Oh, sure. So...
Like, what if it were ooh? Wait. Actually, I don't. Let me see.
Thino, thinya.
Ooh, okay. And then this is what we need to check. We want the effect of both, okay? Okay. Oh, that's weird. Isn't that weird?
No, because you don't. It's the coda, and a coda nasal makes the preceding vowel. If it's a high vowel, go down a step, and it's low tone.
Yeah, but it's palatal.
That is not how we distinguished it. They're part of the nasal chart.
Yeah, but it's palatal. Shoot. Is this a mistake? Because this is what I wanted it to do.
No, it does this. All the nasals did the same thing.
Should be doing this.
We've never done that. And so...
See, because this does the same thing, right? So this is a palatal, E-E-U-U-E. This is a palatal, E-E-U-U-E, just a difference in tone. So this should have its own column. Wait, no. Right? Shouldn't that be...
Graham, we're opening up a whole can of worms for you.
These should be merged. I think, right? Yeah. And so then...
So you're saying the palatal portion is more important than the nasal.
Oh, they're both. Look what it's doing! Look what it's doing!
It's making it the same size as whatever.
There we go. Okay, so. It lowers it, but it should raise it as well, shouldn't it? But not this one. Maybe?
So it's going to leave the vowels where they are because the raising and lowering is fighting with itself?
Hold on.
So the oohs and ohs are largely unaffected?
Should be that. Wait. No. That should be that, but nasalized. And this should be that, but nasalized. And then this should be that. We got A, E.
Why doesn't it affect the A then? The letter E, pronounced A. If it's raising ah to A.
No, you're right. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. E. Then I guess, yeah, this should be, sorry.
This is intense stuff here. We thought we were going to do...
You're right. Right.
And that would match the oo-oo-a.
Yeah.
Of the palates.
Yeah.
Palatals, rather.
Um,
Oh, dear me.
that needs, where's the IPA?
No.
There we go. And then, so... Like, where's Bibleridian right now? Does he agree with what I'm doing? If he thinks that this shouldn't be, I mean, I'm willing to consider it.
And all I know is now I'm gonna have to go back and check all my forms. And otherwise, I think we just have a verb that needs changed. I don't think we have very many nyes at the ends of roots.
Miles is in full maintenance of this.
In full maintenance?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
They really need to change the name of the university, SOAS.
What? Can you scroll up to what does the J do to vowels?
This?
Yeah. Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's a wee bit toasty, isn't it?
In here?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it usually is in here. Okay. So now, are we gonna make this official? I need to change a verb form.
Is Graham there? Does he see what we're doing?
Graham is here. I don't know if he's just like hiding his head in his hands thinking, what in the world did they just do? And then there's nothing preventing ni as a segment.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because our new word for chew would be ni, palatal.
Why?
Because it originally was yang,
Oh, okay.
and then the e gets raised by the nya, because it was nya 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 nya. The
That's
verb
right.
for to chew.
Yeah, and so now, yeah, that
No,
works.
ni. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Now, do you want to go back to what we were working on?
Yeah, so we got to change the word for soft.
How about saying ni?
That works.
Because then it would be
Yeah.
the the modern form would be thingy for feather, but then it is going to for adjective form be all the like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where?
Whew.
Here we go.
We need a whole bucket of Copico after this. We're getting a Copico after this, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
be ready.
So this becomes the.
Yes.
Okay. This becomes the as well, but it causes that.
Yes. And then the last one is going to be fe nieta.
Yes.
High tone, high tone. Yes.
And does that show all of the alternations?
Yes, because we see as it is.
Vowel change, no consonant change. Vowel change, consonants change. No vowel change, no consonant change.
Right. Because every vowel is going to have that.
And there's never a consonant change with no vowel change due to the way it's done. Okay,
Right.
There we go. Okay, and this is soft.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, soft, yes. I thought you meant this changes soft as in it may change again. And I'm like, no. This is it. You're not allowed any more changes. I'm entering adjectives and we're calling it a day.
This is adjective change 2.3. And so we're very excited for adjective change 2.4. Eventually we're going to get to the 7.9 stage, and by then it'll be stable.
I want to say that this one issue that we thought was not, we didn't even know it was an issue, took an hour. Welcome to conlanging. When you think you know what you're doing, and you have to undo everything you already did.
Cheers. Oh, this is going to be good.
Big celebration.
Copico, when you almost get everything right the 5th time.
Oh my word.
Whew. Yeah.
Like, I need a nap.
Okay. We already know that the poll next week is going to be orthography. And so that'll be fun because we can open up the talk that way. So the question is, what do we want to do now? There are a couple of possibilities. One,
Was napping off the table?
That's off the table. If you're going to nap, you have to be on the table to lie down.
I don't think that's going to work given our current table situation.
That's all right. Here, I'll help wake you up.
Oh my word.
That's how Vincent says I love you.
And thank you, Jonathan. We are happy to have finished that. And Ragdoll, cheers right back.
Okay. So we can work on comparisons. That's a possibility.
Or we can...
What?
All right, keep scrolling.
Do relative clauses.
Relative clauses, comparatives, and then all the verb charts that we need to figure out so I can do dictionary entries for verbs.
Oh. We got our WH questions. That's good. That's big.
It's big. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to show them what I did there? Because this is new.
Oh, yeah.
I've got all of our notes for grammaticalization in the historical section with fun bullets. I chose the bullets myself. And little notes about them. And so now, next time we're like, wait, how did we get the perfect or the immediate, future, past, etc.? We have all the notes right here. And so, yay! So yeah, this was actually like my entire weekend project, was me at my computer trying to make sense out of all of our random notes all over the document. And so I got rid of a lot of those things that had just been copied and pasted by section. So it was quite exciting. Sometimes conlanging is document maintenance, you know. And yeah, Carl, that's why I need a nap. Oh, and numbers is another way to go.
Numbers.
Okay. Oh, we also did all these charts. There are 8 million more charts, including we found out that we were doing noun inflections wrong.
Yes.
In many forms. And so we had to fix that, including the dual, where the S should have been voicing in certain situations. And so some of the duals are now zwa forms instead of swa.
Let's see if we can find an example.
And we had some mistakes in some of the plural forms. So yeah, now it's etazwa and not etaswa.
Because it ended with an R, right? And so that's why it voiced the next thing.
Thank you so much, Graham. Seriously, thank you. And then we also had the BV. Where did that show up? It showed up somewhere where
plurals.
Right, but like I can't. Oh, this word for B, because it ended in a nasal in its protoform. And
Yeah.
so notice the dual form is thwa, and the plural form has vu at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so we
I-
had to change all that.
I like that this is our first table. So you go in thinking this is normal.
Yeah, not so normal. But we now have charts for animate and inanimate for everything that's like consonant final, low tone, consonant final, whatever. It wouldn't be high tone. So high tone because if it ended in a stop. Anyway, we've got like all the different combinations you could ever want, and we filled them all out with examples. Like I said, found out we were doing some things wrong.
Yeah.
The allative was the other thing that had to change because it wasn't always ju. Like here it's ajj. Later you're going to see it's ju down on the singular.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Does he? All right.
Whew. So it was...
Thank you. Yes, it is, Mateus. Making tables and pages is very satisfying.
Making them 3 times is not as satisfying because the other fun fact that we have not told you yet was at some point, roughly 20 minutes before the stream ended last week, everything went offline and all the work we did was not saved in the document. And we spent 45 minutes after the stream ended making the document how we wanted it. And then we found out later that over an hour's worth of changes to the document had not been saved at all. So we had that PDF printout, and that was how I spent my Saturday morning, was looking at the PDF printout and redoing everything in Pages because it had been disappeared.
Good thing we had that PDF.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been a trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any of this done. I
Alright.
think we're about at the stage we could get it done if we want to, but we still need comparatives, numbers, and relative clauses.
Verb table will be easy because there's not going to be very much in it.
I can't watch while you scroll that fast. Ooh, getting me dizzy over here. You are, oh my gosh, that's rude. People are gonna like just pass out.
But yeah, like we just copied the table we already have. Where is it? This one.
You literally killed YouTube. It went black screen for a minute because it was like, stop. I want to thank YouTube for like taking some of David's sporadic. Oh my gosh, Jonathan, that's amazing.
Nice formatting.
I like that. Anime fam, the gnomic is like it's just a statement of truth. Like,
Yeah.
the sky is blue,
Yep.
where it's not like imperfective, it's not necessary. I mean, I guess it kind of is present tense, but it's just like you're just stating, like, I prefer red wine.
Yep.
It's just stating a general truth.
Dogs bark, cats meow, doves cry, so on.
What do you do when the doves cry?
I don't think you do anything if they're just telling you what it sounds like.
Okay.
I had no idea, by the way, what he was saying for many years. Okay, so here we go. Let's just paste. Like, seriously. Copy that style. Yeah, look at that.
Coming together already.
And yeah, we're going to change a little bit about this table, but basically, and then here we better copy that style.
What does it sound like when doves cry, David? Minnie wants to know.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Aorist and gnomic are just two different words for the same thing, really. Sizes
Because
up.
why not have more words for the same thing when you can? Mm-hmm.
Don't worry.
You killed it.
Alright, well, let's get some order to this here thing. Okay, we're gonna go to the cell, we're gonna do that, we're gonna make them all one, and we're gonna make them all black. Oh my goodness.
Everything's changing.
There.
I like the red stage though. That was fun.
And this, none of that, we're gonna make it like that.
Graham, I will use that as my excuse to not let him do any more changes. Be like, Graham's not here to update Luxurgy. Stop right there. And so no more sound changes.
Mateus, the term basically means whatever it's going to mean in whatever language. So like the aorist in Greek is basically a perfective. They just call it the aorist because that's what they always called it. I'm not saying they should. Okay. I'm going to copy that style. And then paste that there.
Woo. You know what? I can take care of style. Do you want to see what else is going to need?
Okay, well now we can get rid of this. So, and now we can have a small discussion about what exactly we need here. So this is, evolve a mid-tone, hurry. This is where, so what we're going to do is we're going to show the regular negative, positive reduplicated, and positive reduplicated forms. And in fact, I think we're going to...
Why were some of these in green in the first place?
I don't remember. But we didn't delete that table, so...
Just gonna...
Let's see.
Ah!
Oh,
You're moving me around.
Why is it doing that? Hold on. So this is going to be...
I'm just going to make these all the same color first and then come back through and add the red portions as needed. Because it's easier to just highlight the whole word in one go. Okay, now copy that style.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Indeed.
By the way,
Is
is
that
that
how
the
it
sound?
is?
Is that the sound that we were supposed to take away from that song? Like doves cry sounds like doves crying sounds like little synth. They have a very cute way of crying.
Oh, that changes too.
I like the idea of owls being pessimistic. Good morning, Mr. Owl. What's good about it? Oh.
Oh my word. Okay. Ooh, almost there. Now, okay, quick question. I was doing the red based on comparing positive regular to reduplicated. For the negative, do I still want to use that column for the comparison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You've never heard the song When Doves Cry? They played on the radio a lot. Like, you don't have to listen to Prince to hear some of these songs. Like, When Doves Cry and Party Like It's 1999.
Although I will say that the place I became most familiar with the song, although I had heard it before, but I became most familiar with that song because of the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack from the Baz Luhrmann directed.
Which song?
When Doves Cry. Like, that's how I became most familiar with it. Because I loved that soundtrack. Listened to it all the time. Awesome! We have a chart.
Ooh. Fantasy setting where there's a species of bird that have synth voices. Cool. Everybody knows how old I am. It's on my Wikipedia page. I put it there so I know how old I was.
I didn't think you could edit your own wiki page.
Well, somebody removed it, so like I added my IMDb as the source of it, which I also edited. But then they were like, we need more than that, and that's when somebody dug up my birth certificate and found out my middle name.
Oh, that is
It's listed publicly, apparently.
weird. Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this shows some features,
Yeah.
and we've got a variety of endings to show what happens. We may have too many, but whatever. Let's just leave that for now because it's like it's a chart. It's done.
Yeah, and we don't need these protoforms. Instead, what we need is, so like this is going to be stop, final, and this is going to be fricative, final.
Vowel final.
The
And that's why, like, I don't think we.
this final. And this is glide final. This is VV final.
I like how you're like, final! VV.
Oh man.
And then the last one is also VV. And it's showing the same thing as the ju, right? But is that clearer with the juge, or is it clearer with the chisuso? But it's showing the same thing, right? Because it's showing that it only switches tone for regular positive to negative regular. But in the reduplication, you're getting the first vowel of the pair is being used.
Yeah.
Because
what?
it's EU for the ju form, and then it's OU for the O form.
So it's just, why is it doing that? Why is it reduplicating that way? Because it just reduplicates the vowel? Where did the consonant come from? The coda?
Yeah, it comes from the syllable before it. So, like, the su, instead of suo, just gets copied.
So.
Or, sorry, sou gets copied as so.
Okay.
And instead of ju being copied, it's just je.
Alright, let's do this then. Alright, delete that row, and then we'll say, just write vowel E, vowel O, so we know what's going on a little bit. And then I know that both of us have asked this question before, and I think that both of us, Ali asked, important question, which language in the board game is the world's scientific terminology mostly in? It's this one. It's the mouse language. It would be kind of a fight between the mouse language and the cat language, but yeah. So I think there'll be competing spheres of influence, where in one, I think in the bulk of it, it's like the rabbits, the mice, and the possums are going to mostly use the mouse terminology. Cat terminology, more of this discussion of magic and things related to that. For the possums, it's going to come from the cat language, and same for the cats. And probably the same for the dogs.
Nice.
Okay, and so, but really quick, I wanted to see, does anything come after negatives? Because I think it does.
That's the other thing we should copy that information down there is the.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think it should go down. Like, how would it fit?
I don't know, but like, I would want it there. I want it in a lot of places to remind myself what order. Did you find it? Like, there are just notes everywhere.
Here we go. Evidentiality, that was it. So let's do, what are our evidential suffixes?
They are nya and inya and uthini. Personally verified information is inya, just nya in most cases.
When does this vowel show up?
I believe it would show up with the negative because it would be finya.
What's this?
Whether it's high or low tone?
No, what's
Seef.
that word?
Seef.
Well, then why doesn't the F show up?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's what I was wondering about. Okay.
I don't know. It took me a long time to like track down the source of committee verified information because we didn't like actually mark that. So I don't know why high and low mattered because the endings are the same.
They sure are.
And so like it's not like it was tone specific. So I would think
That's
that
weird.
what would matter would be consonant versus vowel.
Okay, let's dig up the protoforms of these, the Inya and Uthini, real quick.
Oh, you know what the I think it would end up showing up at the end of because some of our grammaticalized forms because it shows up after negation, but that also means it shows up after tense and aspect. Which means it would show up after, say, vun, ya. So there'd be a consonant there.
Yeah, and so but
Like
here's the thing. Due to the way our language works, you never need an epenthetic vowel. You can just delete the previous coda consonant and call it a day. So I want to figure out why we did this and if we want to keep it or just get rid of those epenthetic vowels.
Okay, what do you want those sources for? You wanted protoforms.
Yeah. So Inya and Uthini.
Right here. Nya and seek plus nich.
Yeah, but like where do those epenthetic vowels come from?
No idea.
It's distant and right? Isn't that the E that means here and U means there?
Oh, that would be thematic, yes. Which we have. No, ah would be non-proximal.
Shoot.
So I literally don't know. Unless it was from like third person woo.
Oh.
Because it's like, oh yeah, because it's a shortening of like I sense or so they say, so the group speaks.
Yeah.
And so it would actually be from Thinya and from Wathuni, which Wothuni maybe, because they say it, and that would end up shortening to U.
Yeah, versus I say it is Thi.
Yeah.
Or just I say.
which is the.
The. And what is nya again? What does it mean?
To sense or perceive. So it's like I sense.
Yeah.
So that's where those vowels come from.
Huh. Okay, so now here's
But like, yeah, when would they show up?
in this exact situation right here, unless we don't want that.
These are later developments. I don't think we want to rescue
All right then.
protoforms in late developments unless it specifically shows up as part of.
Then let's just get rid of them.
Okay.
That takes care of that. Okay. Because the reason why we went down this rabbit hole is I wanted to see if there was going to be any reason to add another form here so that we could show the negative showing up. And in general, I didn't imagine that after they became, after they walked on hands and leg, or, after they walked on 2 feet, they would maintain the previous animosity, but they wouldn't be eating each other anymore, which does lead to an open question. Well, what do the cats do? What do they eat? Because they're not really vegetarians, so they'll have to eat some kind of protein. Yeah.
Are they technologically advanced? Are they good with magic?
Yeah.
Cool, because we ate ice cream last night that is dairy but vegan because it was made from a lab. And so I feel like they could do the same thing with protein.
Yeah.
And like magic it in the lab, and it was still technically not eating those around.
Miles also has a good point. They can fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fish probably solves the problem there. Yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of one chart.
Yeah, one problem with the fish is they have to figure out why they don't react to the stuff because it comes out of the water. Because, I mean, if it would seem like the fish would be the first to hit it. Or it just affects them differently. Makes them juicier and tastier.
Okay.
You say it only affects mammals in this way.
We have person agreement, but that is all regular, right?
Yeah, so what we could do is create a huge chart like Menishe and put them above here.
But we had decided we actually couldn't get it all in one chart.
That's why we did that. But we could essentially just copy and paste those charts down here, but get rid of the etymological information, so it'd be a bit simpler.
Well, leave it there momentarily, so that way I remember.
Yeah.
As I clean it up, but do you want to...
I didn't want to delete it.
Oh, okay.
I was saying put it down here, but make it simpler.
Right. And so those charts, and then the other, we've got the negation. I don't know how we want to show that, or whether we want that in a chart, or whether we want to just say, like, see the section on negation, because we've got all the different nouns.
That's right. You were entering all those verbs. We were supposed to put them into classes.
Right. Well, I haven't started at all on verbs.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, either that or just add the prefix.
As like what information gets added to the verb.
Right.
Otherwise, I think all the other forms are just prefixes or suffixes that are guessable. I don't know if you want to do a chart for, we've got all these bullet lists for tense aspect combos. We've got all those forms in bullet lists. So I don't know.
I don't think any of that can really be added here unless we just add a list of everything.
Okay.
Ooh, some fish independently involved endothermy, warm-bloodedness. That's cool. Fish become dumber instead.
If I figure out how to make a chart out of this, so all the suffixes are in one location instead of a whole bullet list.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
The problem with this language is that the verb forms are going to be so numerous that they just can't be listed in chart form. Kind of like what goes on with the Inuktitut languages.
Sure, but like things like, in general, what is the past tense? Or like we have this where it's like...
It's because this is a core thing that happens with every verb and does show some bizarre irregularity. All this stuff should be mostly regular. It's just numerous. And I'm not even saying that those are all the tenses that we're going to have. Those are just all the ones we have at the moment because we stopped doing it. There's tons more stuff that we can add.
I wasn't suggesting adding adverbs. It's really just...
Yeah.
Anyway, the F is resuscitated in these forms. Do we want the F to be resuscitated? No, because evidentiality came so much later, it is not resuscitated.
Yeah.
Okay. So done. I guess that's it though, except for the subject verb agreement charts. And so do you want to tackle ideas for relative clauses and ideas for comparison?
With the 14 minutes we have left.
Well, right. That's why I said ideas. I didn't say tackle it. So tackle ideas.
I have an idea for a relative clause.
Page 30. You can find my...
No, I could have done that, yeah. And this is just to have something else that's just like the evidentials. Occupies the same spot, just gets thrown at the end of a sentence.
Okay.
And then makes it a modifier that precedes the noun it modifies.
So some sort of relative clause marker at the end.
Yeah.
But then the whole relative clause comes before the noun.
Yeah.
So like the mouse who is sleeping would be like sleeping who is or whatever, mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are those dactic markers again?
Oh, they are E and A. E proximal, non-proximal.
And
then there's possessed versus unpossessed.
Here, let's go up to those real quick. And they precede, yeah. Yeah, this is gonna kind of blow your mind a little bit, but like I don't think we need anything new at all. You just put a whole ass sentence there in front and then follow it with one of these. And then that's all you need.
So essentially like using the clause but then saying that mouse blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that or this, but then you go through the same process to determine which one, whether it's near me, whether it's near somebody else. And so
But what
on.
if it is meant to be modifying the object? And so it would be like mouse, dog, verb over here. But I want to say it's the dog who is sleeping, but like the mouse,
Yeah, it's just a gap.
hugged the dog who is sleeping.
It's just a gap, is what I'm saying.
So would it be like dog is sleeping, and then mouse, whatever, like no actual relative clause?
Yeah. No.
Like the mouse saw that one? Or the mouse hugged that one?
So the mouse hugged the dog who was sleeping?
Yeah.
So like, it was sleeping, this dog, mouse hugged.
What do you mean? And there would be nothing that would say who the actor is, because both of them would be in the natural case.
Is it natural for dogs to get hugged?
We decided that for animate beings, it's natural for them to be hugged.
Well, then we should use a different verb.
But it's the only one I could think of that was obviously transitive, and I couldn't remember what for see. I mean, it's natural to
scratched.
see.
The mouse scratched the dog who was sleeping.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, so like, no, it's not rude,
Oh, okay.
That's friendly.
That is friendly.
Yeah. So so it was sleeping. This dog, unnatural, mouse scratched.
Okay. But like, in the case where they would both be in natural, you would just have to like use context and hope that.
I say the relative clause gets dragged out front.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would make sense that, well, I don't know, you could sleep hug somebody, but it would make more sense if the mouse was doing the hugging if the dog is sleeping. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
But
just
also,
context. It's just context.
just context and word order.
And so we just need to then come up with statements to exemplify this.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that we're doing.
So I think that you should be on that demonstrative section.
I'm right here.
And then okay, but subject, mouse.
We have a new, yeah.
Mouse that was sleeping.
If you don't want to get into
Let's see.
tense, then you should leave everything the mouse that is sleeping. Well, then the 8 will just carry.
This is just weird, though. We could use tense. That's fine. Like, do we have a pluperfect? So, like, had been.
Like me to stay on the demonstratives, huh? Okay, we have past. We've got immediate perfect.
Keep going
We've
down.
got past perfect.
Keep going down.
Sequential. There's nothing below that.
Nothing? We don't have the had yet? We need that.
Well,
Oh,
we've
let's
got
just
just
do-
scurried versus
How about
basically had scurried.
the mouse that is about to sleep? A to C. Yeah? Okay.
This mouse is about to sleep.
We might do a couple different versions of this, depending on where this mouse is in relation to us. So, how do we say is about to sleep?
We're gonna add because it's singular. So we're just gonna add to
Sleep. Fee, fa.
So,
Really? And then, what is this? Wa, right?
well, now I gotta get back to. Okay, it's gonna be wa for non-proximal.
And then we need perfect for to eat. vo. So that's thum. So it comes from vo.
Well, woon is the source.
Woon. Okay. And then what's eat?
I think it's me with a P at the end of the protoform. Oh gosh. Yeah, me, high tone, protoform with a P.
Okay. Me vote. Okay, so then now we need this.
That, and we're gonna say like that mouse? Is that?
Well, it depends wherever we want this mouse to be with relationship to us.
To the speaker? Then it's either gonna be the or tha. Close, the, far away, tha.
Oh, but also if we're saying it to somebody else, it could be near them.
Right, but like are you gonna, which one do you want? We need an example? Do we wanna say it's?
Whatever. So it's just a the and unpossessed. Yeah, definitely unpossessed. So we're gonna. Yeah, there we go. And so this is I don't know where to put this information, but like what we're gonna do is all these have an extra thing. You see this?
Oh, I see it.
It's awful.
Okay.
But yeah.
So this one is like near speaker.
Subject 1.
Oh, by the way, it does that too. It adds an underline.
Oh my god.
Oh, I figured that out when I was redoing the entire document.
Okay, near speaker. Near listener. So that's what? Nah. It'll be either not or ni, depending on how close the listener is to us. Okay, no, it's okay. That's yeah. And then let's just do. Oops. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. And then near both is ni.
Yeah.
There we go. See?
Now, do we want to say?
It's not too bad.
So, I mean, technically, there's also a third person, and there's also a nun. Like the one who's not close to anybody would just be an ah.
Yeah. So wa, right? Oh, none.
None. Yeah, and it would just be, and it would be non-proximal at that point, which would be like.
Near neither.
It would just be ah high tone.
All right.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's a great place to end.
I've always pronounced it. I don't know where it came from, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So, are you comfortable with this? Feels like you're not.
Yes and no. It's a matter of just like seeing the examples as we play it out, because it's like theoretically yes, but like I'm starting, like it is
almost a headless relative.
Okay. It also just kind of feels like, why not say there are no true relatives and just say it's clause coordination.
Well, I mean,
with markers, because it's really just one clause, second clause.
It's just, this is conventionally understood to be, relative marker, and there's a gap. So it's not nothing.
So
Like nothing would be like the mouse is about to sleep, the mouse ate a seed. And then like the internally headed would be the mouse that is about to sleep, seed ate, right? It's not like either of those.
No, I get it. It's just, one, my brain hurts. 2, I need a nap.
Got it.
3, I want to see more examples.
Okay, form a relative clause, leave a gap in the embedded clause. List it first and follow it with the noun, with the target of relativization prefixed with a demonstrative. It doesn't matter which demonstrative. Any demonstrative will signal the relationship. Follow it with the rest of the matrix clause. In some cases, the target of relativization will be out of position in the matrix clause. It will still take the case assigned to it by the matrix verb. Yeah?
Perfect.
And here are some examples.
Wonderful. Now we can end it.
That's not too bad.
Remember that next week we will be at a different time, but we will be right here on YouTube like normal, and we look forward to seeing you then.
Right on. Stay grammar, everybody.
Stay grammar.
Bye.